Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. Let's walk the talk.
Welcome back. Pastor Joe.
Yes.
The issue to do with deep desire.
Yes.
I have identified a need, maybe in a street family.
Yes.
But honestly, I'm not in a position to create a home for them, or rather,
Yes.
to shift them from the condition they are in.
Yes.
But the desire is there. What will I do? And you're telling me that it's my purpose.
Yes. Now, purpose has a way of buying its way. Number one, into people. Number two, into places. And number three, into resources. Purpose has a way of providing for itself. Purpose has a way of buying its way into people's lives. You find that you just become admirable. Actually, it's your purpose defines your beauty. Your purpose defines your beauty. If you are in your purpose, automatically you become beautiful, regardless of your physical appearance. Actually, I'm shying away from saying that we have seen people who may be, by human definition, were not beautiful. But because of what they were doing, because of what they did, the whole world knows them. I don't want to mention names, but we know people. You don't look at their physical appearance. All that you're interested in is what are they doing.
Exactly.
They'll be seen in the media. They'll be everywhere. The world will be rewarding them, because what defines your life is your purpose in this earth. Yeah. So when it comes to resources, is that purpose, people have money. God has enabled people to make money.
Sure.
And that money is supposed now to come and fund your purpose. There are people, that is why even when you talk about vision, you talk about when you write your vision, there are people who are ready to run with the vision. Look at Jesus. Which job did Jesus do? But did we have people bringing their money into the ministry?
We do.
We had a treasurer in the ministry of Jesus, which was their main occupation. Preaching, purpose. So purpose has a way of providing for itself. You even find that people can sacrifice. Actually, your purpose cannot give you enough money to run itself. It is people. Because your purpose is not about you. Your purpose is about others. And if what you are doing is affecting others, they must also respond to what you are doing. They must be a blessing to you. So purpose is not about whether I have this money. Actually, we need to differentiate between ambition and purpose. You can be ambitious where you want to go and take a loan and do this and do this, and that does not mean that you cannot borrow money just to expand and to grow your purpose. You can, because maybe you are passionate about ministry and you have been called to minister the gospel. But one thing that I know is that God desires that you grow with his space in purpose. That is why the Bible says that God has blessed you with all manner of blessings that pertains to life and godliness. So resources for us, purpose. Resources. Your purpose has the ability to take you where no money can take you. To take you before people that no money can take you. That is purpose. I was employed by one of the best companies. I used to work for a petroleum company. And it could take me to different places. But one thing that I can tell you, since I left and I got into my purpose, I have gone to so many places that my company could not have taken me to. So it becomes very important when you are in your purpose and when you are fulfilling purpose. You also need other people. Because we say that purpose is about others. You need people who can now help you, who can now walk with you. There are people who have gone ahead of you. We call them mentors. We have spiritual fathers, like in the realm of the church environment. We have people who are there to guide us, our role models, people who can see what we cannot see, people who will help us even avoid some mistakes in the journey of purpose.
Sure.
So all these people are supposed to come and help us now fulfill our purpose.
And I pick people who can help us to avoid mistakes in the journey of purpose.
Yes.
And I would love you mention some mistakes. Sometimes one makes along the journey of purpose.
Yes.
Like
one mistake that people make along when they are on the journey of purpose is looking at money as a reward. When you are so much into making money from your purpose, you lose it. And sometimes you overstretch yourself. I have even seen people who go even borrow loans, huge loans, just because they want to push an agenda. But it is not time. You can imagine Joseph is in prison. Allow us in the show to use Joseph as our example. You can imagine how much he could have paid to go before the king.
A lot.
Could he even get an opportunity to see the king? But he was in prison. The man was in prison. It was purpose that was taking him in prison. You can never try to bail yourself out of purpose. Purpose has a way. Purpose has a channel, just like water has a way. Just like a train uses the rail. Just like a car uses the road. You cannot see a car driving on the rail because that is not its path.
Sure.
Just like the aeroplanes uses the routes up there or the paths, whatever it is. That is the way the life of a man is structured, to follow purpose. Joseph is even thrown, he is scandalized in the house of Potiphar. And it is God designed, because it is through there, after he was scandalized, that he is to be thrown in prison. In prison, he is supposed to meet the cupbearer and the baker, where he interprets the dreams using his gift. This is where now the gift comes. The gift must go together with your purpose. The work of the gift is to bail you out when your purpose draws you into trouble.
Wow.
Your purpose will bail you out. You know? So Joseph is able to now to be called by the king. The king calls him to come and interpret the dream. But the purpose is not to interpret the dream. It's a gift. The purpose is to take him to State House.
Yes.
To go and save his people. To go and save the people of Israel, the people of God. That was the intention. That was the purpose of Joseph. Because after that, you see, did you know that Joseph died before his brothers? And he was among the lastborns. He was the second lastborn. But he died before. When others were going back, Joseph was not there. That's why he even says, he was not there because he died. Because he fulfilled his purpose. The people could have died because of hunger. Yeah. But Joseph was sent in advance to go and prepare for them. So what you're saying is that there are so many things that comes around. And you even find people that God will send you. There are people who are so much disconnected with the people in their lives because they are doing the wrong thing. It is only in your purpose that you connect to the right people. Wow. There's someone who is suffering right now because you are standing on the wrong side of the highway and you are expecting to get to your destination. You cannot stand on the wrong side of the highway and you are still saying, when the touts are saying Nairobi, 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 and you are going to Thika, you look like a mad person.
That's true.
But when you stand on the right side of the highway, I can promise you, you can even get somebody lifting you to where you are going.
Wow.
There are possibilities of you getting to your destination.
After now, I identify why that I was created, or rather I was born.
Yes.
Now, how will one understand or know that they are living in their purpose? Instead of doing so many things at the same time,
yes.
But you find by the end of the day, even the energy is wasted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that will help you acknowledge or feel like you are in fulfilling your purpose, number one is inner satisfaction.
Well, inner satisfaction.
There is no inner satisfaction that you can get anywhere else or elsewhere good enough like when you're in your purpose. You may be broke, but you have peace. That is why you find some people, let me, because I'm a pastor, let me use, you find a pastor with a struggling church, but that man goes there daily.
Because it is the purpose.
Because there's something else that keeps him there. You cannot understand. People from outside, actually I have even heard people say that huyu alikataa kufanya kazi, huyu alikataa kutafuta kazi, he is lazy, huyu hatakagi kufanya kazi. But it's not that. It's about that is where I am. That is where I'm wired. That is what I'm wired to do. Actually, I cannot do anything else. Have you seen people even resigning from big government jobs and even maybe in the corporate, them leaving the corporate world to come and just begin something that is even struggling? There are some people who have been called to do business and maybe become kingdom financiers. People who have been called to take care of the orphans, build orphanage and all that. And you hear them leaving maybe jobs in the United Nations and all that, and government organizations. They leave that to come and begin borrowing people, depending on people. Why? There is something that is in them that is telling them, this is where you are supposed to be. So there is inner peace. There is inner peace. Number two, in the wrong run, you realize, when you are in your purpose, in the wrong run, you realize that your money is in your purpose. Your money is in your purpose. finally your purpose rewards you. There is nothing that is so rewarding like your purpose. It rewards you finally. And that is why, you see, it's not about how long you do it. It's not about how long you live. It is about how effective you are. Actually, we say that life is not measured by the duration. Life is measured by the donation. Your donation to the world is your purpose. You living your life in accordance to the purpose that God has given you. So in the long run, you find that you have a decent life. You have a decent life. And that is why you find some people who have finally discovered their purposes, they don't struggle doing things. They don't struggle doing things. You expect somebody to have a lot of syllabus, they are telling you, no, money will come. Money for that will come. You just ask the CEO of Lookup Media. Did you just ask him, even how he began the station? It's not that there was money. There was an inner drive that was pushing him, telling him you can do it. It's not that money comes after. Money follows purpose. You don't get money to fulfill purpose. You fulfill purpose and money follows.
Can one retire from the purpose?
Now, purpose is eternal. You can never retire from purpose. And no one is too old to fulfill purpose. You cannot be too old to fulfill purpose. You can begin from where you are right now.
At whatever age.
Actually, in purpose, you don't retire. You retire. The other retire of putting on new tires. You retire. You show the other side of your life.
You change the wheels.
You change the wheels. You change the tires. You get? Because I have seen people who have been teachers previously.
Yeah.
And after retirement, maybe after 60 or 55 years, they begin now to do things that they were created to do. And you realize that is when that person begin living. You even live longer. Now, if somebody is sending you to retire at 55 or at 60, where does he want you to go for the next 30 years if God gives you 90 years? That is suffering. But if you discover your purpose, you begin now to use the experiences that you have gotten, because God never wastes an experience. There's a reason as to why you have been found, you have always found yourself where you have found yourself in. Whether you are employed, even if you are employed and you are not paid, that experience is what you needed for your next level in life. So it's not about the so many things that happens to us in life. It's about where God is taking you. And you need every bit. That is why you find even somebody like David. His killing of the bear and the lion was instrumental to him killing Goliath.
He was still in the purpose.
He was in the purpose. Look at Moses. These things are able to come out very clearly even in the as you live in your day-to-day life. Look at Moses when he is in the house of Pharaoh. He is able to see an Egyptian fighting with a Hebrew, and the warrior in him, the deliverer in him, his purpose, was aroused, and he goes and saves the Hebrew man. Later on he goes and fights two Hebrew men fighting. And again now they began now to attack him. Do you think, who told you are our leader? And he disappears. But God goes and prepares him. He now comes now to fulfill his purpose. So purpose is something that begins to show up even at the early stages of your life. And I want to encourage even parents, you can help your child discover their purpose. Just by the way you see them behave. You can even hear God telling you about this is what you are carrying. We saw even in the case of Samson, God speaking to Manoah and his wife, saying that you are going to get a son, and he will be a Nazarite, no bread that you ever pass on his head. And there was a protocol of how he was supposed to be raised up. So purpose has a way. There's a way that God have designed for us to fulfill purpose.
But do you think in the current world that parents are in a position to identify the purpose in their children?
They are there. Because what has been there, what is there has been there. It's only that today's parent, we have a challenge, me included, because we want to force our children, as Jocelyn Kawera will say, we want to force our children become what we failed to become. So I'm pushing my son to be an accountant just because I wanted to be an accountant.
And maybe you failed.
And maybe I was not able to achieve that. So when you begin now pushing that child, you make that child become miserable the rest of their lives. Let them be, help them. You can guide them, but allow them to exercise by the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Allow them to become all that God created them. You can only shine in your area of purpose, in your area of calling. That is where your relevance is. You can only become relevant in your area of purpose. You can only gain legitimacy and legality in your area of purpose. Actually, your area of purpose, your purpose is what we call is your life assurance cover. You cannot die before your time. And allow me also to say that people who fulfill purpose, like we say in David, in the book of Acts chapter 13 verses 36, the Bible says that, and after David has served the purposes of God in his generation, he rested. People who don't fulfill purpose, they die. People who fulfill purpose, they rest. There is a difference. And that is why every time you go for a burial, there is the RIP that is written in the cross. That RIP have two meanings. For people who die and people who rest.
Yeah.
Those who die are the people we say return if possible. Because you have robbed us things that you are supposed to do. But for those who have fulfilled purpose, is rest in peace.
Pastor Joe, what is your parting shot?
My parting shot is that I pray that our viewers discover their purposes. And that is my prayer. God can minister to you in a dream. God can show you a vision. God can give you a deep desire. May you follow your purpose in life. If you are not married, if you discover your purpose, it is the very best pointer to your partner. Meet at a point of purpose, you will never go wrong. I also want to say that I have two books. One book is Wisdom for Wealth. Wisdom for Wealth is a book that will help you become financially stable. Wisdom for Relationship is for those who are single, those who are in love, and those who are married. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Anytime you find you have inner peace, understand you are in your purpose. Remember, people who fulfill their purpose, they rest. But those who don't fulfill their purpose, they die. Until next time, always your host, RK Favored.
Walk